we go. So welcome. This is going to go just right. So I'm glad you're here. I am so excited to share this. I am very nervous to share this. It just kind of came on, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But I have a little slideshow that I want to share with you. So I'm going to share my computer and go through this slideshow. There we go. Well, this is the end of the slideshow. So stop the share. Wow, this is just going great. Give me just a few seconds here.
Looks like you're among friends, so you're fine.
You know, this is how life is, and you have really good intentions, and then things don't go the way you want. And it's our ability to adapt, which our bodies usually adapt a whole lot better than we do. Okay, that is back up. And there's so much so much tech involved here. Okay, now we're back. Okay, I can share. All right. So this is the Love Your Body coaching program that I am instigating, I guess you could say. So welcome. Self-love has a ripple effect on various aspects of health, contributing to a holistic sense of well-being and encouraging behaviors that support a healthier life. It is absolutely critical that you love yourself if you really want to see lasting results with your health, with your weight, with any change that you make. This program, it's 6 months, 183 days of support, 12 tools I will be introducing, one community where we can help each other, and infinite possibilities on how it can be applied and why. Let's look at the benefits of doing this together. You get your support. Daily to weekly support increases the likelihood of success. And if you've ever tried to do something without that kind of support, it's really hard to do. And having people who have a like mind, who are looking at the same goal, you can try and do it with your family, but if they don't have the same goals as you, they're not going to be as motivated as you are. And that's why these weight loss programs can help. Weight Watchers was great for the community and the support, but the program can work for some and not for others, but they have stayed in business this whole time because of the weekly support that they create, so that you have a safe place to go and really be open and vulnerable and ask questions. Accountability. Having regular check-ins to keep you motivated and stay on track, to ask questions, to look for solutions if things start going a different direction than you want, to kind of collaborate with others on what could be going on, how you can change it. But showing up to be accountable for what you did throughout the time period between meetings. Education, valuable information, empowering you to make informed choices. Now, if you've ever dieted ever in your life, you probably know a few things. And I know most of you on here are really researched, really know a lot of things. And so what you know, you can bring into this to support others. But I also want to introduce you to some new things that you may not know about that can make it a huge difference. Even in some of the techniques that I know you practice, there might be some tweaks on it that it's like, oh, I didn't think to do that, and that made all the difference. So we'll have opportunities to share and to learn new things. And there's a bunch of new stuff in here that I'm excited to share with you that can help support your goals. The biggest goal is to first love your body. We'll be focusing on that the entire time. Meeting together, you'll have support for behavioral changes. That can be some of the hardest things to do. So when you fail and go, I did it again, there will be a community there to be like, all right, pick yourself up. Let's do it again. Let's keep going. You can fail at a thing, but you're just failing at a thing. You are not a failure. And so as you work through these behavioral changes and start making new things a habit and learning to live in a different way than you've ever lived before, because the way you have been living led you to where you are right now. So if you think that you can continue living your life the way you have lived it and see something different, you're in denial. You have to do something completely different. And that can be hard to start making those changes and start living, because it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel awkward. If you remember learning to ride a bike, it was scary. It was awkward. You didn't know if you were going to fall or not. You did fall. It hurt. All those things, you're learning to do something new. But once you get comfortable with it and confident that, oh, I can do this. This is now my new lifestyle. This is my new thought pattern. This is a whole new way of living my life. It becomes easy. And for many of us, not loving ourselves started really young, when somebody showed us that we are not valuable, that we don't deserve love. And so we've operated our lives from that vantage point, from that mindset. And to live differently with the mindset that I am valuable and that I am lovable and I love every aspect about me, is going to be a huge mindset change. So we'll have our community to encourage others that are on the same journey, and we'll walk together. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty intimate group, which is really great for this type of thing, because you can really be accountable. Now, if you're here, not necessarily for weight loss, but to really refine your health, it's going to be the same thing. But this is a focus on weight loss. So all you do is convert in your head health or whatever you're working on. We will still be there for you. We're going to develop new skills. There's a few new skills to develop that you can apply each day and create new neural pathways in how you process information. So this will encourage mindfulness and body positivity. So this is the Love Your Body coaching program, and it can facilitate a holistic approach to weight loss that combines physical health with emotional and mental well-being. And it starts with loving your body. So what makes this program different? Well, I'll tell you how it makes it different and how this came about. And this is my story. So a year ago, this is me in Hawaii, first time there, so excited. And I am practicing Qigong with my friends that were also not in the picture, but in the background. And I am physically not where I would feel that I would want to be. And I'd like to lose some weight. And let's see, it started about, 30 years ago when I first started massively gaining weight, and I didn't know what on earth was happening. I could breathe and put on 10 pounds in a day. I have records to track that is actually happening. I have tracked that carefully, and yes, I can breathe and gain 10 pounds in 24 hours. And then it doesn't come off either. So it's not like water weight or anything. And I was panicked over it and tried all kinds of things. And I learned a lot along the journey about how to lose weight, what is healthy, what is not. But it still wasn't, I was still kind of yo-yoing and still not really coming into the lifestyle or the way that I wanted to live my life. And I just didn't know the secret. So then about 10 years ago, I came across something that did a complete 180 overnight. It was absolutely incredible. I was like, what just happened? My whole world went from this view to shift, and it came into alignment, and I could see clear where I thought I was seeing clear and I wasn't. It's kind of like watching TV on the old TVs, and they're like, "Oh, wow, this is really great. This is fun." And then you try an HD, and then you go back to the original and you realize how out of focus it was. It's kind of like that, like, whoa, I didn't know it could be that clear. And I got really excited about applying the principles that I learned towards weight loss. But even though I kept doing that, it wasn't quite working. And I'm like, I know that this will work. What am I missing? And it wasn't too long after that that I realized that there are aspects about myself that I did not love. In fact, the reason I wanted to lose weight was because I didn't like me. And I looked in the mirror and I was horrified. And I thought, there's no way that I am ever going to lose the weight because I'm at war with myself. And if you're at war with yourself, you will never win, period. And I thought, gee, I'd like to be thinner, but until I come to terms with where I love myself, not punishing myself, walking into a mirror and really going, wow, look at that. I'm beautiful. Look at that. I gained weight. I'm still beautiful. I wonder what's going on that my body is needing to gain weight to heal something. And I started thinking about things differently. And I felt pretty confident with where I was going with this. Um, and I was trying new things. This is where it gets a little tricky because this is going out to everybody. But in my prayers, I was really conversing with the Lord about what I needed to learn to overcome these problems that I felt challenged by. And every time I'd pray towards weight loss, it was like, wait, you're not ready yet. Wait, you're not. It's like, okay, I will keep doing things to refine what I can, but I wasn't ready yet. And then this year I learned, well, a number of years ago, I learned Pengyu Shingon. That's going to be a big part of this program. And I started cultivating life force. This has really helped. Then earlier this year, I learned the Phoenix Force exercise. And it started doing things that I learned it because I was just like, hey, I wonder what this is about. Let's see. I'm curious. I've learned now to be curious. Try it on, see what happens. So I tried it on and I was like, wow, things are happening that I didn't expect. Okay. Then I also learned the Ultimate Avatar exercise. And again, very different. I really like it. Tried it on, watched what was happening in my life. And I'm like, I really like what's happening in my life here. I'll keep doing this. So I was in this state when a few weeks ago, I was, I was doing the Ultimate Avatar. That's the next step. And you're thinking of things and you're doing movements. And all of a sudden, I get this hit. So I will talk about this and say I will hear it. It is not audible words. It just comes over my being and I can interpret it as words. But it said, you're ready now. It's time to do it. I'm like, okay, that's nice. And then it was like, you're ready now. It's time to do it. You need to start on December 21st. I'm like, what? You need to start on December 21st. I'm like, okay. I looked up that day. I'm like, wait, that's the solstice. It's like, yes, you need to start on December 21st. And I thought, okay, I can do that. And you will finish on your birthday. Like, okay, this is getting really specific for me. All right, I'm listening. Like, I'll make a note of that. So then the next day, I'm doing Pengu Shingon. And it's like, why have you not acted on this yet? And I'm like, well, because I'm not starting until the 21st. It's like, no, you need to start on the 21st, but you need to have a plan beforehand. And I want you to invite everybody you know to join you. Like, what? That's in a few weeks. It's the middle of Christmas. Everybody's busy. And through that whole hour, it was like, no, you need to do this now. And I've learned to listen. I'm like, okay, we'll do it now. And then later, right after that, I was doing the Ultimate Avatar again. And all the information about this program was given to me. And I was like, okay, this is easy. I didn't have to think up anything. I'm like, 6 months? Are you kidding me? That's a lot to prepare and have. It's like, no, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to introduce this. At this time, you're going to do this. And it just came. So then I sat down, wrote that out, put it in a graph, and went, okay, tell everybody about it. Sure. So that is where I'm at right now. I don't know where this is leading, but this is the information I received. And those that want to come on this journey with me, you're invited to come on this journey that was given to me for the next 6 months. And I also got, after I announced it and had it all organized, which only took me a couple of hours to put it all down because it was all given to me. There was no thought or creativity needed. It was like this. Okay. There is a second half. It was partly given to me, but it was like, I don't need to give it to you yet because you're not there. Do the 6 months first, but there is a second half you'll be given it. It's like, okay, that is what we're going to do. So that is my story, and we will see what happens, but I would love to have you all join me on this journey. I got all of this prepared. This slideshow came about a week ago. Again, so easy. And when things are easy like that, I know I've hit that I'm in the zone. When life gets hard, I know that I'm not in alignment with life itself. I've worked that out many times. And this was just like right here, and this is where you're going to stay. I had to do a tweak on this earlier today because it was like, oh, and remind them during this class of these things, because I want you to leave with something, even if you don't sign up for the program. I want you to leave with something that will be helpful to you. And so this is what came to me. And again, complete download. So, so something to reflect on. What does enough mean to you? And I thought about this, and I thought about the world that we live in. There's a few things that come from outer space that affect this world, but pretty much all of our resources come from this world. Our gasoline comes from this world. And it lay hidden for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, millions of years, to be used and available now. How many other resources does the earth hold to help and support that which lives on it? It's rather endless. Things grow, things die. It's all part of the cycle, but all the resources that we will ever need are found here. And our body is like the earth. It also has everything that we need to be successful, to sustain life, to really engage with life. And our body is a blessing to us. It was a structure created for us to be able to experience this world and this life and have this experience and not die, because it's dangerous, it's treacherous, lots can happen. And so we have this amazing vehicle that we get to drive around in this life that is self-healing, self-regulating. It just does its thing to keep us alive so that we can have experience. It is truly, truly amazing. But we often hate it. We trash it and we abuse it. And it still comes back loving us way more than we ever love it. So think where, wow, that's a spelling error. Okay. Where do you feel that you don't have enough? And how do you talk to yourself? I didn't eat healthy enough, therefore I'm overweight. I didn't exercise enough, I'm overweight. Or I haven't lost the weight that I want. Or I'm not as healthy as I want because I didn't have enough. I didn't take enough supplements. Where's the supplement? I have all these supplements, it's not working. I must be lacking in some other supplement. You have enough. I didn't earn enough money to buy the food, the supplements, the personal trainer, the counseling, the gym, all the things that I'm lacking, I don't have enough of, and therefore I can't achieve my goals. I didn't have enough time to prepare the food, to shop for the food, to exercise, to have a hobby, to go out with friends, to take a class, to take a rest. I just don't have enough time. These are things that we say to ourselves that derail us because you do have enough. I didn't have enough education to get the job I really want that will be fulfilling and that will pay well, so that I could have the money so that I could have enough. But in this one, you still never have enough. You could be a millionaire and you'll never have enough. I didn't have enough support from my spouse, my partner, my family, my friends. I didn't have enough of my basic needs met as a child. I was abused, and I just didn't have enough. And so here I am today. I don't have enough metabolic processes that are working. Therefore, look at me, I just don't have enough. I didn't have enough good days to commit to my health because I was feeling so poorly. I didn't have enough health resources in my area to help me. So think if there are things in your life that you are self-talking and saying, I don't have enough. I'm not enough. I don't do enough. Because the problem isn't that I don't have enough. The problem is I haven't discovered all the resources that I have within me. And that's what we're going to do for the next 6 months. So let's change this pattern. I am going to stop the share. We're going to do an exercise, but I did see a chat. Guilt yourself. Yes. We abuse ourselves. Years ago, I did lose 100 pounds. I know how to do that. I will not do it that way again. I went to the gym and I saw people working out, abusing themselves with restricting food out of punishment, exercising to punish their bodies into submission, and felt guilty if they didn't do it that way. There's so many things. We are so abusive to ourselves. And if we have a nature that's abusive to others, you are really abusing yourself, because it usually starts with yourself. But I don't think anyone here has that problem, but we can be our biggest bully. And especially when things that are out of our control are, we want to control. And our body is like, hey, I'm trying to keep you alive and you keep hurting me, you keep damaging me, you keep doing things that I have to rescue you from. What do you expect from me? So these are things to think because you need to love your body. It starts with a thought. all of this starts with a thought. Everything that was ever created on this earth began with an intention. It was created spiritually long before it was created into form. And so when we go into the energy of things, we can start changing things quicker and faster. It's our blueprint. So before we tear down the house, let's look at the blueprint and see if the house actually matches the blueprint. And if it doesn't, that's where we're going to start making adjustments. And I've built many houses, and a lot of them don't match the blueprint because they took a shortcut, or this wall's straight enough as it's leaning and crooked. It's like, no, that's going to create a weakness, and I'm going to end up with cracks. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it needs to be in alignment. You cannot shortchange that. And so part of this program will be working on physical renovations, but first we need to get the blueprint corrected and look at the blueprint and go, is this really what I want to build? Because it may not be what you want to build. There is a great poem. I don't have it in front of me. It just came to mind about, I think it was C.S. Lewis talks about how we thought we were building a small cottage, and God does all these renovations and it hurts and ouch, and we can't imagine what he's doing, but he's actually building a mansion. And we thought it was a small cottage. That's oftentimes what, oh, my blueprint is this. But when you really look at it going, is that really the experience that you want to have? Is that what you want it to look like? We're going to look at those things in the next coming weeks. And we're also in the time of the Chinese clock of winter. Now is the time to gather resources. This is not the time to start new programs, to burst out with great big lofty goals and to do that. That's coming. It's really soon. We're pretty much in the middle of winter time right now, according to the Chinese clock. But first we need to build a strong base, because if we don't have a strong base, when you do go to start those, you'll fail because you don't have all the resources prepared ahead of time. Yeah, got that. So I'm going to teach you I'm going to do two things. I'm going to teach you a body balancing technique that I've learned and done for many years. There is a higher technique to this, if you know how to muscle test or to feel into things. That is a whole nother class. So we're just going to go through the whole thing. And then we're going to do a meditation connected to that to help get us out of stuck of enough. So let me bring up my cheat sheet here. There we go. Okay. So if you can stand up, it's much easier to do this standing up. In the future, you don't need to do it standing up, but do this standing up. Oops. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to use one hand and cover your forehead. There are some meridian points that are connected with your emotional health across your forehead. So you're going to support them with the energy coming off of your hand. So this is supportive. You can also use magnets for this, but we're just going to use our hands. And then we're going to start by putting the free hand over our kidney. So whatever is the opposite that you can reach, put over one of your kidneys. In fact, it's probably better to start with the right or the left kidney. So I'll switch. So left kidney, hand over forehead. You're supporting the kidney and your emotional state. And you're going to take 3 deep breaths. Now you'll switch into the other kidney. 3 deep breaths. And now you're going to take the free hand and you're going to put it over your bladder. You can do this. This is on camera. I'm just going to put it over the bladder area. You can just lay it on your skin over where your bladder is. We're going to take three deep breaths again. Okay, I'm going to switch hands because I'm going to put my right hand on my forehead and my left on my liver gallbladder. So on your right side, just under your rib cage. And we're going to support both the liver and the gallbladder because they're kind of right in that area. So put your hand there and take 3 deep breaths. And then I'm going to switch again for comfort. Put my hand on my heart. And this is going to support my heart and the pericardium. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And then we're going to move our hand down to our small intestine. Just put it over your belly button and it will cover that whole area of small intestine. And we'll do 3 deep breaths. And then we're going to take that hand and we're going to cover the spleen and stomach. So under the rib cage on the other side, on the left side of spleen and stomach, which by the way, your stomach is here. This is your belly. This is your stomach. So we're going to go over here and this is going to cover your stomach, spleen, and pancreas. And it's really helpful if you have blood sugar issues. So take a 3 deep breaths. And we're going to put that hand over our lung. There is a lung point right here. So it's easier to hit the meridian lung point here than where your lung really is. So that's why it's up on your shoulder. So hold the left lung, take 3 deep breaths. And then switch to the other side. 3 deep breaths. And then we'll place our hand on the large intestine. We're going to go right under the belly button, not as far down as the bladder. So just kind of in that area. And take 3 deep breaths. Okay, and then shake it off. And you are balanced. You can trace the meridians and you can back trace the meridians. It can be dangerous, so you need to know what you're doing. This is a less dangerous way to go through all those meridians and balance them. So that's why we do it. And the other technique with that is finding which one is so out of balance that when it's supported in imbalance, it sends a ripple and balances everything. And that is another class, but if you're interested, ask me about it. Now, go ahead and sit and get really comfortable, and we are going to do some affirmation forgiveness statements. Be receiving. You can either put your hands in receiving position or just under your collarbone right here and just go down about an inch right there. Is the K27 points. And you can hold them and massage them, especially if they are sore or tender, or you can put your hand over them, supporting them. This is also going to help support any fear that comes up, any uncomfortableness. So we're going to support the kidney meridian, which is associated with fear. And I'm going to have you repeat after me. And then after each full statement, we will be taking a breath. So have your microphone off, but say this out loud, and I will try and go slow enough for you to follow with me. But your body loves to hear the sound of its voice. It is very comforting. It's like hearing your mother's voice, that this is you and you are always with yourself. So it brings about powerful transformation when you can say this out loud. So here we go. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't eat healthy enough. And take a deep breath. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't exercise enough. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't take enough supplements. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't earn enough money to buy food, supplements, gym memberships, personal trainers, counseling, or anything else I felt I was lacking. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't have enough time to prepare the food, to shop for the food, to exercise, to have a hobby, to go out with friends, to take a class, to take a rest, and take a deep breath. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't have enough education to get the job I really want, that will be fulfilling and pay well. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't have enough support from my spouse, my partner, family, or friends. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't have enough of my basic needs as a helpless child. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't have enough metabolic processes that work. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I didn't have enough good days to commit to my health. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I don't have enough. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I don't do enough. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I am not enough. And breathe. I give myself permission to see all the areas where I act from a place of not enough. And I thank this aspect of myself for what it has taught me. And breathe. I am now ready to release not enough from my body, from my mind, and from my spirit, and replace it with I have everything I need. And breathe. All areas that are blocked from believing that I have all that I need, I call up and release completely across all time, all dimensions, all realities, and all generations, now and continually. And breathe. All the areas of my body that hold patterns, reactions, and pain associated with not having enough, I hear your message. And I thank you for alerting me to my unconscious beliefs. And breathe. I now give myself permission to listen to my body carefully and acknowledge the messages it gives me. And breathe. I give myself permission to learn its language, how it speaks to me, and understand its true needs. And breathe. I give myself permission to comprehend the language of emotions. And breathe. I give myself permission to be curious and to learn and explore all the possibilities that I hold within me that I haven't even begun to comprehend. And breathe. I give myself permission to fill the space that not enough created. And I fill it with beauty, with wonderment, with affection, with attention, with adventure, with possibilities, with passion, with kindness, with value, and with flow. And breathe. Without the life of not enough, I am free to create endless versions of myself. And breathe. I am free to grow and learn of all the possibilities. And breathe. I am free to have enough. and breathe. I am free to do enough and breathe. I am free to be enough and breathe. And I am free to experience life in all its variety, both good and bad, from a place of confidence, peace, and strength, and breathe. I am free to be curious and learn all the lessons that life can teach me for my good and for my growth, and breathe. I am free to embrace whatever comes my way and love and appreciate all of it, and breathe. I love and accept myself exactly how I am right now, this day, and how I'm going to be in 6 months, with 6 months of new experiences, and breathe. I love and accept life itself. And together we are beautiful, and breathe. Okay. I will get a copy of this class to you and a separate copy of that so that you can listen to it, follow it along frequently when you can remember to, because that will really help bring you into a place where you can truly start to see the areas where you are not loving yourself. And if you've done a lot of great work, it might be just a few things. If you're just starting out, it could be a lot of things. And we just start where we're at and move forward from there. So I'm glad you liked it. Great. And it will be helpful. Okay, yeah. Some of these can be really easy to say and think and feel, and then others you're like, whoa. Oh, and if you start to doze off, usually that's like, whoa, this is a lot for me to handle and process. So you want to get to a place where that's not happening. But that's also when your body goes into a place where it's allowing the programming to happen. So again, don't fight with it. In fact, this is the theme. Don't fight with yourself. If something is happening and your body is taking over, allow it, feel it, follow it, because it's doing something good for you. And you do not know better than it. It has more communication with the divine than your brain does, than your thinking mind. And so it is trying to help you have the best and most prosperous experience that you can possibly have. It is working with God to do that. And you are in this body to learn these things. So that's where going with the flow is. It's not going with the flow, follow what your neighbor's doing. It's going with the flow to allow the energy of life, to allow its creations to teach you what you need, which is going to be different than what I need, to learn and grow and prosper and have an amazing experience of discovery. So I am going to go back to sharing, finish out my slideshow, and then we'll answer some questions. So here we go. So we changed this pattern, and I did this body balancing on myself earlier today, and then about 2 hours later, I was feeling a little funky and went, oh, my large intestines speaking to me. So I balanced that, but I was surprised that it was out of balance again. Now I heard it speak, and I was using my techniques to see if it was out of balance, and it was. So it's like, okay, put that back into balance, and that could be an issue that I need to pay attention to going forward. Usually that's not the issue I'm dealing with, but sometimes it is. Okay, so the program, I'll walk with you and we'll do it together. I really want to form a community where we can do this together and really support each other. It will be held every other Saturday from 3 to 5 Eastern. We'll be having an accountability support class during that, where I will present information, we'll check in, we'll be prepared to share a picture and any measurements that you are using to track. I know it's embarrassing and you want to hide, but this is an intimate group, and we will not share that information. We will not think badly of it because we're all there. We're all in the same position, and that helps you to track and be accountable to your week and know where you can improve, where you can cruise, get some help. And it is an exercise in complete vulnerability. So yeah, the ones that don't move
The
too much.
non-essential measurements.
Yeah, but you know what? That is actually a really good measurement.
I know.
That's how I know I'm on the right track, is like, oh, my shoes fit today.
Yeah.
If my shoes do not fit, it has nothing to do with the accumulation of fat on my body. It tells me my kidneys are not happy, and I have not been doing things to support them. And I've got some fear areas in my life that I am pretending don't exist. It's like, oops, okay, back on track. And so those are some of the things I have been working on. I am not worried about my weight. I was like focusing on my weight when I don't have my fear under control, or recognize when I'm going into a fear pattern. So I don't need to be in control. I just need to recognize, oh, this is what's happening. Yes, fear raises cortisol, which all the emotions are not benign. They speak to us, and they create situations in our body. When we feel a certain way, that is actually an emotion we're feeling. So when my big toe hurts, I could go, oh no, my big toe hurts. I need to go to the podiatrist. I might have an ingrown toenail. Or I might have a piece of anger wedged in there causing me trouble because it's on the part where my liver meridian is. And that's how I feel anger, because I've suppressed myself so good that I can stay in a certain position and nobody knows that inside I'm seething, but my toe knows. And it's like, hey, wake up. That is anger, and you have not resolved it. You've not dealt with it. You've not acknowledged that you're having those feelings. So we will be paying attention to those things in the next 6 months. Yes. The middle toe is, it's so hard for me to memorize things when I've got sheets in front of me. That would be stomach. So a lot of times with weight loss, it involves the middle section, which in Chinese medicine is spleen, stomach, liver, and gallbladder. And so stomach issues are being overwhelmed, overthinking, worry, and you may not feel it in your stomach. You may have stomach issues. You also might feel it in your middle toe. Our bodies are so clever about getting around all of our nonsense because they love us that much. So, oh, let me go back. Okay, so every other Saturday, and we'll start next Saturday on the solstice. I will be in Arizona with Vicky. But we will start next Saturday on this on the solstice. Yes, our bodies are so fascinating. And we're going to get to know them really intimately in ways we haven't before in this program. But then we'll do it every other Saturday so that we can check in frequently, but not take over all of our Saturdays. It can seem like a long time for 6 months. That's going to put you right at the start of summer, because we'll end on the summer solstice. And so there will be gardening time. There will be things happening that we'll want to get out and then play. There is a second half. But this is also a call to get serious with yourself and go, I am valuable. I am worth putting effort in, and it's only 6 months. I've been alive all this time. It's only 6 months. I can put this in, and just with this program, I might learn all that I need to know to be able to continue this and keep it going, or it might get me into a place where it's like, yeah, this is worth my effort. I'm going to keep going for another 6 months. Yeah, it's only 14 classes. And if you sign up with the program and you can't make it, I would try to check in with people if you can't make it, but you will get the recording. The recordings, if you listen to it, it's great. But there will be some activities that you'll want to do in person because it will be a little bit more free form. I will let you know beforehand so that you can make arrangements if you really need to. They are scheduled out in a very specific manner in what comes next so that you aren't introducing something that's too overwhelming to your system. I've done a lot of pre-work on myself, and I know a lot of you have too. So you're in a really good position. Those who are just newbies and just starting this out, this has been structured for you to be successful. So building a base, you are not behind the curve. You'll have everything built in a manner that's not overwhelming, because we don't want to overwhelm your system, and we don't want to battle against ourselves or create thoughts of failure or not enough or any of those things. But there's some really great tools coming. I'm so excited to share with you. So December 21st is the first day of this. We will be going over how to use sound and vibrational frequencies. That will be the focus. There's some various ways that you can use them or access them that can be helpful, because we're going into the energy to reprogram the energy first during this winter time where we're gathering our resources. Then January 4th and 18th, we are going to be discussing your why. Why are you doing this? What is your purpose behind it? Really getting clear on that, because if you're not clear on that, you'll be distracted by a lot of things. So you really want to know your why. We're going to dig into that. Then the next time we'll be working on aligning our brain and getting our brain in the right place for this to happen. So our thinking, but also our physical brain. February 1st and 15th, we're going to be doing a yin yoga form during that class. So we'll just have a check-in, and then we will do yoga together, a very powerful yoga that can help really align you. And then for those who have not learned the Phoenix Force exercise. We will be talking about what it is and possibly learning it. If not, we'll be talking about it and I'll have the resources for you to learn it. But that's the time that we want to start incorporating it if you have not already learned it and are incorporating it now. I didn't want you to start too soon with that because it is a very powerful exercise. March 1st, 15th, and 29th, we will be doing daily mastery, the importance of ritual, and we will be mapping our minds. And April 5th and 19th, we will be doing some different forms of Qigong and doing some connection to the universe exercises. Then, because now we're really in the full time of springing out into creating something completely new. So we will be doing that in April. In May, we will learn to balance our emotions, recognize emotions, how to balance them, and resolve trauma that might be interfering with our physical processes and addressing them. And we can't do either one of those if our life force is lacking. It would be like trying to run a marathon when you haven't eaten in days. So we'll be building all these things so that we can start really getting to the root cause of things, which is your emotional health and how trauma has affected you. Getting deep. So that's not about diagnoses, it's about resolving the things that have been left unresolved, cleaning out the basement. And then in June, we will be creating your vision for the future. And then what are the next steps after this? So those are the classes. We will be having, and what I didn't, if you haven't learned Pangu Shandong, and I believe most of you have, if you haven't, then contact me. I set aside tomorrow to teach that if you need to learn it. If you can't tomorrow, then we can set up another time. But learn Pangu Shandong because we need to start doing that as the most effective way to start cultivating our life force. And I would ask if you could, just for 6 months, make it a priority to join the daily life force cultivation groups. For some of you, it might be way too early. I understand that. That might be a goal that you want to get up earlier and do this. If there isn't a group that works with your schedule, then think about starting a group. And offer that for others to practice just for 6 months to see how it goes. But daily cultivation is imperative. Yeah, you can do it in your own. There's something with groups that that add to the energy of it. But yeah, we don't want to add more stress by meeting timelines. That's why I host the one at 6:50 now. Started at 7 o'clock originally, because if I had set it at 8 o'clock, which would be a whole lot more comfortable for me, I couldn't guarantee that I could be there consistently, because that's when life starts really going for the day and people pull me here and there. And I knew that that wouldn't work. So I moved it to 7, but I also knew that I am not a morning person in any kind of way. And there have been times in my life that I was required to get up by 6 o'clock in the morning, if not 5 o'clock in the morning, for holy and noble purposes, things that were very, very important to me. And I could not do it. I did it most of the time, but the reality was that was so horrific to me to do that I just beat myself up the whole time because I could not do it. So then when the opportunity, again, I was told, do this, I was like, I don't know if I can do 7. And a friend of mine offered to help me. It took a kind of a week. And then I'm like, yeah, I think I can, but this is going to be awful. But I can do this. And I've been doing it for almost 5 years now, which is amazing. And I love it. Some days are really hard. I am a night owl. And when it is a night owl time, it is really, really hard, but I am determined to show up first for myself and second for those that want to join me. And now sometimes it's like, okay, sometimes it's okay to put that off, but that was really important to me. It was really, really hard for me to do. That one was set up though, not knowing that there would be an end in sight. So this program's like, just do it for 6 months. See if you can do that for 6 months. And if you miss a day, you miss a day. If you miss a week, then, let's get back on. But even if you could find somebody in your area that you could meet to do it every day, it doesn't have to be online, or, make it fun. If you join the full program, I will be sending out weekly frequency programs via the Quanta app. So if you have a Quanta app, there's no extra purchase there. If you don't have a Quanta app, you will need to purchase that. But I will be sending out a weight loss program that you can play each day, and a unique frequency program for you, because you need to correct the things that are specific to you. And so that will analyze your voice and your energy fields, and we will set a program up specifically for you to listen to for that week. And it's very, very effective. We will do weekly energetic healing group sessions. Those will be on Tuesday nights Eastern at 8:30. You will be joining my regular group, so we'll have 2 different groups in there, but this is for pure energy healing, looking at where you're having a problem. So it may not be weight loss. You may have a sprained ankle. You may have gotten sick. You may have something weird going on, or something's off, you don't know what it is, and I can feel in and just organize the energy in there. So that's also going to help you to lose weight, to relieve that stress. You don't have to go to all of these things, but if you don't go to any of them and go, yeah, didn't work, that's on you. But sometimes fitting all of this in can be really difficult. So I wanted to have enough offered to you for you to work with on your schedule. The weekly guided meditation is similar to the healing group session. It's a little bit more structured and prepared ahead. That's when I offer every Friday. We'll be doing that with a focus on this weight loss stuff. So we'll be doing that for the next 6 months. That's free. So, but it's available to help support you. Then there's also a weekly Tongren therapy with Tom Tam. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. So Tom Tam offers a weight loss class every week, and I will be committed to going myself, and I can see who's joined. And so that is an amazing therapy. When I was in Boston with him earlier this year, I lost 9 inches in my waist in 24 hours, and I have kept it off. So he has some unique things. Some you may be familiar with through people you've studied with, but he offers that every week. There's other classes that he offers that aren't specifically weight loss, but could also be good. And you can communicate through and be like, yeah, I'm focusing on this thing today. Yeah, I will get you the information on the Tongren stuff, and how to join. If you join this program, or if you just message me later, I will get this to you so that you can do it on your own. He does ask for a donation. So if you do the whole program under my big umbrella, I will cover that for you. If you want to do it on your own, you can cover it. But he just asks for a donation. Yeah, we will have a group chat for this group, for those that sign up. And then there will also be other self-help tools available to use. Some you may already have, some may be new, some you may have and didn't remember that you had them. The weight loss class is at 4 o'clock. It's from 4 to 4:30 every Monday. But I'll give you the link and then you can see the schedule of classes. He's got something on every day. They even have one at 10 o'clock at night, Eastern. I haven't been to that one, but some great things, and you can learn a lot. It's Tom Tam does some of them, and his students do some of them. So it's a great opportunity. And if you are in the Boston area, I would highly recommend that you go in and see him. You can set an appointment, or you can just walk in and they have the classes there. You can sit in he used to call it the Joy Room, and he's calling it something else now. They haven't settled on a date, but on a name, but it is this really cool room where he's got all kinds of stuff happening in it that he's kind of programmed it. It's quite cool. So so to start, Pengu Shingon, Qigong, start building your life force. Get it in every day. I get lazy and I only do an hour. I really need to do 2 hours. I will be stepping it up. How do you know if you're how much to do? By how you feel. So if you do one round and go, check that box, I'm good, you're probably not going to be cultivating enough. But if you do two, 3, 6, whatever rounds, and then you're like, whoa, I feel empowered, I feel larger, I feel more relaxed, I feel more centered, then you did enough that day. If you get to the end of the day and you're like, I'm feeling the way I normally feel, well, the way you normally feel is how you got here in the first place. So you need to do something to change that feeling. Do Pengu Shingon. There are 3 forms of it. There is the moving form, which is the first thing that you learn. And after you've practiced that one form every day, and you all need more than that, but minimum one form every day for 30 days, you can learn the non-moving form. For most of the things that we're going to be doing, it's that non-moving form that is really going to make a huge difference. It balances you from the inside out. It balances your brain. It reprograms your brain is that non-moving form. So that one is really good. We don't do that one in group practice, but it is really great to do before bed. But if you need more of it, then I carve out other times of the day, because oftentimes you'll fall asleep, which is perfectly fine, and it's still working for the length of how it should work. But that only means you get one round in. And I have some hacks for that have been helpful to me that we can talk about in the future. But learn Pengu Shingon and start practicing it. If you have been practicing it for a long time, then go deeper with it. The third form is the advanced condensed. So Pengu Shingon takes about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes to do. And then you do it multiple times to build more chi. the advanced condensed, after you've practiced both non-moving and moving form for 6 months to a year every day, he rewards you with the advanced condensed, where it's roughly 5 minutes that cultivates 3 times the amount of chi. Very good to have in your back pocket. So those are the 3 things available in the Qigong. But if you know them or you're working towards that last one, I would study, get the Path of Life, read it every single day. Reading that book will make a huge difference. It is cultivating energy. You can count that as Qigong practice when you read it. It may make you sleepy at first. If it's a little too deep for you, it is a little hard to read. If you just want to understand the concepts behind the Qigong, why you are doing what you're doing, then I would recommend the textbook that goes with it. It's Pengu Qigong, it's culture and whatever. It's not a very big book, and the articles are only about a page or 2. So really quick read. Again, when you read that, if you take 3 minutes to read it, you're cultivating life force energy in reading that, but you're also understanding what you're doing so that you're not just standing there, moving your arms and visualizing things. But when you understand what you're doing, then you can start getting creative with how you're going to use that, that information. So I highly recommend that you study. And he hasn't released his next set of courses coming up, but I suspect that they will be released by January, and they'll have something for us. I think they're making some changes, but pay attention to the courses, and I'll let you know if you're studying with me what's coming up. So, any questions? I'll stop the share. Any questions so far? Okay.
Kind of covers a lot from healing to accountability. It kind of covers a lot from healing to accountability to health to accountability. So.
Yeah. It's your normal diet and exercise that people do. It's just very in your face. And if it hasn't worked, or if the alternative things that you're doing are getting you there, but not quite health-wise, this is going to go in the back door, and let's go. Okay, now we're going to get serious, and we're going to look behind the walls. We're going to look in the closet. We're going to do things in a whole different way. One, so that you can't block it because it's new. Because if you go out and go, okay, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to get a gym membership, you block yourself and you're like, I don't feel like it today. Or, we do things. But if you do something and somebody invited you to play tag at the park, you wouldn't think, oh, I'm going to go exercise. You think, I'm going to go play with my friends. And then afterwards, you have a really good workout. It's like, well, that was kind of fun. So that's what this program really kind of does. It's a back door into things, to look at things in a different way, and to use some different tools that bring a little bit of play and a little bit of fun into it, along with cultivation practices and stuff. So, so the big question probably is, how do I get involved? I will go back to sharing, finish out my slideshow here. So what to do before next week's start date? You need to make a choice. Are you going to do it or not? And purchase the program. And I will go over how to do that for you, because it is actually kind of individual. Before next start date, you'll need to decide on healthful habits. That is a nice way of saying, how are you going to eat for the next 6 months? Really think about that. I have been I will be really serious about following the carnivore diet. Why? Because I've seen amazing things with it already. And it's basically an elimination diet. A lot of people who have health problems or weight problems are actually having sensitivity problems. Yeah, good fats and proteins, good fats. You can send your blood sugar crazy if you don't have enough fat and you're focusing on protein. So that fat component is really important, and the lack of sugar is really important in those things. There's a reason for that, and we can go over that. I have a lot of different diets. Some work that have worked for me. Like you can do this. If there's a way of eating that, yeah, M&Ms, no. If there's a way of eating that you are, that you really feel will work for your body, but you just have a hard time sticking with it, then I can help you with that. If you are convinced that this is going to work and it has never worked for you, then abandon that plan because it's not working for you, and try something different. But again, I don't have it planned in here, but I have a whole class on sensitivities and what they do to you that you may not be recognizing are doing to you, and how you would recognize, wow. It comes from a book called Is This Your Child by Dr. Rapp. There was a doctor here who keyed me into it, and I saw it firsthand over and over and over again. What you eat, what you touch, what you smell can send you into all kinds of crazy. And it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with how you're responding to things. Okay, yeah, that would be great, Vicki. I used a plan years ago that was really great, and it's available too. It really fit me because it had all of my favorite foods, just little tweaks on them. But I can't do that now because I do have these sensitivities that I have learned about it. It helped me at first until my body was like, quit doing this to me. One of the things with sensitivities that is really interesting is studies have shown, and there's pictures of kids who are loving and gentle and kind. They eat a grape, and then in 10 minutes, they are drawing pictures of killing their mom, and just completely out of craziness. Thank you. Sometimes it can be the pesticides on it. Sometimes it is just actual that thing. You might, if you drink wine, I knew of one woman who's like, I can drink white wine, but if I drink red, my body goes absolutely crazy. And I didn't recognize it was doing that, but my anxiety shoots up out, and it's like, oh no, I'm having an anxiety attack. Why? And it's like, because I drank a little bit of red wine, not white wine. They also discovered with, and this doctor was part of the study along with Dr. Rapp and a few others, that people who were alcoholics, who were really having a hard time quitting the alcohol, they did a bunch of tests and found, back in this time, they called them allergies. Now we have to separate allergy from sensitivity. They were having strong reactions to the core base of the alcohol that they most enjoyed in their alcoholic adventures. So for those that were addicted to beer, it was wheat. They could not tolerate wheat. And so it was a way of distracting their body from what they were feeling inside. The same way somebody might cut themselves or do other things to distract. When they felt uncomfortable, they would go to the thing that they knew would really make them feel uncomfortable. And the same with those that had addictions to wine, particularly American wine, because it all has corn in it. And they found that they were all allergic to corn and it was creating a certain feeling in their body that distracted them from the reality. So, yeah. Mhm. A lot of what we think is translated by our body and comes out looking like trackable things that are common in most people. Sometimes we can be the exception and our body goes a different way. But when it, like sugar, I am very allergic to grass, and sugar cane is a grass. Sugar beets are not a grass. And so if I go to the store and buy some white sugar, I will have a reaction if I get C&H pure cane sugar versus if I get cheapo beepo Walmart sugar that was made over here where they use sugar beets. And that was absolutely fascinating. Sometimes organic helps, but if you have a grass allergy, it doesn't matter if it's organic or not. You're still getting something there. But sugar is also highly processed, and it's run through a charcoal filter. That charcoal filter can actually have things added that it adds to the sugar. So some would be better than others. But I have found that if I can just avoid the white stuff sugar, I do so much better. In the carnivore diet, sugar is not a good thing. Some say honey you can get away with, but when you're doing the elimination to find out where you have problems, when you're only eating a few things, then you find out really quickly where you have problems. You can add that in if you have trouble getting over cravings. There's ways to get over that and still keep on it. So yeah. So I use honey and I use maple syrup because I don't react to those. Even though I do have a sensitivity to trees at times, for the most part, I don't have a reaction to those things, which means that I have to prepare all my own food. And there is my problem that I will be working on for the next 6 months. I have seen a lot of people do the blood type diet and have success. It was created by one person with no research. So it has a lot of people, a lot of naysayers on it. But if he was inspired to look at things in that way, he may have been inspired to look at things that way, and it could be helpful to you to look at that. And so but these aren't diets to lose weight. These are, how am I going to change the way I eat for the rest of my life? And so these are complete diet changes. Now, the carnivore, there are people who are committed to it for lifelong. I am not completely convinced that that is the solution. There is a huge component of that, though, because our hormones cannot be regulated if we don't have enough proper fat. And if we are eating seed oils, then that's not a proper fat. So these are all things that pick something, and then we'll dive in and we'll see, is it really working for you, or is this just too hard? And is there another way to approach that? Because you have to nourish your body. It is really flexible. It's a lot more flexible than we think, but we have to look at it as nourishing our body, not trying to do something weird to it. And a lot of the foods that we have available in America are just not nourishing, even though it claims to be a health food. I would highly advise against any protein powder, period. Not good for you. That is so processed. If it is helpful to you and it has worked, then great, but you wouldn't be here today if it really worked. So I've gone that route. You can drop weight, but you cannot sustain a healthy lifestyle without doing that. And what we want to do is to sustain a healthy lifestyle where you just show up for life and experience it, and you don't have to count calories and decide this and do all the things in your head that your body's already programmed to do. We want to get rid of all that nonsense, and we want to let our body that we absolutely love and trust do it for us, so that we can wake up and go, what do I get to do today? And be excited about what we get to do today, what we get to experience, what we get to interact with. And we love it, not, it's morning, I have stuff to do, and I'm going to drink this nasty thing and do this now. We really want to feel good. And that's what I have found on the carnivore diet. And I have pushed every possible poke on that one to be like, well, what about this? What about this? It's like, no. If I follow it, I feel amazing. If I go, well, this one little thing, it's okay. It's just a little thing. I don't feel amazing the next day. I don't feel terrible, but I don't feel amazing. It's like, yeah, that really doesn't work. But there wasn't sugar and there wasn't carbs and but it was processed. And it doesn't feel good. So that's why I have chosen to do the carnivore diet. You pick what works for you. And if you have questions about it, I've got different diets. Vicki said she has one that's good. Try different things and see how you feel. And don't keep trying to make something that doesn't make you feel good make you feel good. So when you realize, yeah, I did this for a week and I just don't feel good, and discuss. Now, the carnivore diet will have healing patterns that are uncomfortable. That's different than feeling good. You can have some uncomfortable things as your body shifts. Feeling good means I get up today and I'm excited for what I'm going to experience today. That's feeling good. So, yeah, I really cannot eat wheat. I discovered that hard yesterday because I pushed the envelope and we went to an amusement park and I got a pretzel because it just sounded good and felt good. And I ate it. And within 15 minutes, I could barely walk because it hurt so bad. I'm like, yep, that's what happens every time I eat wheat. What was I thinking? But it just confirmed that I have come so far that little bit happens really fast. I don't need to wait for it to be 24 hours later. Sometimes the sensitivities that we have like that will show up 48 hours later. And so it's hard to put the 2 and 2 together. That's why doing this elimination diet, the backwards eliminate everything and then slowly add in, has been the biggest game changer for me. So yeah. Then the other thing for starting next week is determine your focus. We will be changing this as time goes on, but determine what it is that you want to accomplish with this. And I went around the blog trying to figure out how to phrase weight loss in a way that people wasn't so vague. People didn't understand what I was offering. But weight is subjective. If I want to lose 15 pounds tomorrow, I can cut my arm off and I've lost 15 pounds. But I'm still fluffy around the middle. So what is it that you want to do? Do you want to have a certain measurement? Do you want to have a certain weight on a scale? And if that is your goal, I want to have this weight on the scale and I'm perfectly okay with whatever shape my body looks like. That's not important. The scale weight is important. Then that's your focus. And that's that's up to you, but you can't complain that your body is in a weird misshapen blob because you were focusing on a scale. If you want to trim down and you want to fit into a certain size clothing, and you can't complain that the scale is higher than you thought it would be for that figure type, because those don't always go together. And so really think about, what is it that I'm focusing on? Is there a health issue, an autoimmune issue that I really want to be able to balance out? If you have diabetes, is there something that you want to do to balance your blood sugars in such a way without having to take medication? I'd work with your doctor on that, but what is your focus for this? And would you be happy if you met that focus and other things didn't look the way you thought they should? So we'll go more into that in the coming weeks, but do have a focus. And then in this program, purchase a sketchbook. We'll be using it as a journal, but this is the one I like. I'll show it to you here in a minute. Because it has thick paper, because we are going to be doing some exploration with it. So sketchbook, okay. Oh, I didn't realize I had these. So healthful, how you're going to eat, how you're going to sleep, how you're going to cultivate energy, how you're going to rest, what kind of movement, not to start now or to continue doing now if you're already doing it, and how you're going to think. What is your why? We'll work on that in a few weeks, but think, why are you doing this? Here's a sketchbook. Purchase, it's a Canson fluid mixed media. It's a thicker paper. This one is, what size? It's big. This is a 9 by 12 inch one. So you can make a lot of notes all over one page and on the back side, but when we do some other things, you'll have, it won't bleed through. But use this as your 6-month journal. And then when you're done, you'll have this lovely book of your progress. So do that. All right. And then how do I purchase it? How do you get started? I am going to send you an email with the details, but I'd like you to schedule a free one-on-one with me so we can customize what you have. Because if you already know Pengu Shingon, if you already know Phoenix Force, if you already know some of the yoga forms that we're going to do, if you already have some of the tools that that you'll purchase, then that will be adjusted. And if you're interested in the program, but you don't really want to commit, I will also send you the schedule, and you can do it a la carte and be like, yeah, I just want to see what you have to say on Saturdays every other week, but I don't need this one and this one. I'll just come to these, and you can put it on your schedule. You can register for them, and I will send you what link to come. But please register, because that's where it will charge you for the class. And I will get that link together for you. They do build on each other. There is a specific order to it. So you may come and be like, what are you talking about? It's not completely building on each other. So you can get away with it. There's some kind of independent things going on. It would be good to be there for all of it, though. They are foundational. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with frequencies. If you don't know anything about frequencies or how I'm using them in this, then if you miss that class and you don't, if you sign up for the class but can't come, I will send you the replay so that you still purchased it. But without having that class to understand how we're using frequencies, why, and best practices, then you could be lost for the next 6 months with using that. Even the same with the Qigong methods, you may already know it. And for a lot of them, if you already know it, to retake the class is usually half price. If I'm teaching it, then it would be that way. If I'm just going over the properties of it, you could probably learn things and go, oh, I didn't think of doing it that way. Or I didn't know that that's part of the process. So they're all going to be very, very effective classes to take. And it starts next Saturday, the winter solstice. And that only gets better from here. So look for that email. I'll give you all the information, set up a one-on-one with me so that we can go over the different costs and what you need or you don't need, and set it up personally for you. And so I am open, and here the next few days is when those appointments will be open for that. And we will flesh it out from there. So there we go. Any questions or comments about the program so far? Okay. Well, I look forward to hearing from you. Reach out to me in whatever way is comfortable for you, and we'll set up that appointment. But I will have the appointment schedule in the email, which I will get out later tonight to you. I hope, definitely by tomorrow. So I would love to work with you. I'd love to have a really great community that can help support each other in meeting our health goals and really doing something amazing together. So I will let you go. It's just after 5, and I will also get this replay out to you as well. So have a great rest of the evening, and thank you for coming at this terrible time of the day. But I set it up because it's in between other things that are going on that some of you may be participating in. And I don't know Master O's future schedule, but he usually does things at certain times. And I knew this was the middle of that. And I usually don't miss his classes. So, all right, I will see you soon, and we will get your custom program together. So we'll talk to you later.